Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
Welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we're talking the go-home episode of Smackdown before Bash in Berlin. Pretty great street fight between Nia Jax and Michin. Of course, Nia Jax once again defended her once again. Has she defended the title yet? I don't know. In any event, she kept the title after a potential cash-in attempt from Tiffany Stratton, complicating their relationship further, no doubt. We're going to talk about everything that happened. There was also
Bayley came back too during that match.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, Bayley came back as well, which is a pretty big deal. That crowd there in Berlin loved them some Bayley. During the finish of the match, they were chanting the old Bayley song.
Yeah.
So that must be nice for her. But we'll talk about Smackdown and everything before tomorrow's Bash in Berlin. We're going to be live for that, Larson, at 10 a.m. Pacific, which is 1 p.m. Eastern, and of course, like normal time if you're there in the Europe. So, join us for that. We're going to be doing our live reactions and the review right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Of course, also over at twitch.tv/Steven Larson, where we partake in the channel point betting, which is a lot of fun. It's always fun watching wrestling with the friendos. But first, Larson, according to some in WWE, oh boy, AEW might be ruining the business. What's going on here, man?
Oh my goodness. So I feel a need to preface this. This is from the Wrestling Observer newsletter, so it's from Dave Meltzer. I know Dave's track record, especially of late, hasn't been the best. You know, with the news, the reports.
Burying those other guys.
This is a topic of conversation.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Not an endorsement, per se, of Meltzer's report.
Yeah.
So, Dave offered up some details on Swerve Strickland. He signed a new deal at pre-show of All In. Got some new details about his deal. And apparently how some WWE think that Swerve's lucrative new contract is, quote, bad for the sport. So this is what Dave had to say. Based on what we've been told, this deal locks him up through September of 2029. 5-year deal then. It was well known that WWE tried to make a play for the Strickland and Prince Nana act. The deal was reportedly agreed to a few weeks back, is believed to be amongst the biggest deals in pro wrestling, although be well below the Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and Randy Orton level. It's probably in the range of the Okada Mercedes Moné range based on what was hinted about regarding those deals, which are lower numbers than have been reported elsewhere. This deal is not at the numbers of what was reported for either of those two deals. The deal and the offer to Daniel Garcia were told to us by someone on the WWE side for Garcia and more than one on Strickland as being bad for the sport because they are so far over what WWE would perceive the market value for both to be, with the idea that's Tony Khan, spending more than he needs to in raising salaries. The reality is WWE can afford anything. Even if the new TV deal is high, AEW still has to spend with some caution, or the idea they'll be so profitable then will erase that. Fightful Select, by the way, happy birthday to Sean Ross Sapp.
Oh, it's his birthday? That's cool.
Yeah. Fightful Select reached out to WWE for comment on the Observer's report, and while no one within the company responded, one talent told Fightful, quote, I myself haven't heard that about the bad for the sport sentiment. But whether or not it was said, anyone thinking wrestlers will take less money is out of their minds when new TV deals are being announced, sellouts, and record numbers are being bragged about. We say all the time, whether you enjoy AEW's programming or not, AEW is good for the wrestling business. It's good because it's good for wrestlers. It gives them an avenue by which they can make more money, as illustrated here and as illustrated several times over. You can go back to 2019 and 2020, early 2020 especially, when AEW was getting started. WWE was throwing huge money deals out to people to get them to stay and not go to AEW. What if, this is a huge if, there's any truth to this, and someone WWE said, these huge new contracts for Swerve, the offer for Daniel Garcia is bad for the sport. What that means is someone WWE is saying it's bad for us because we want to be the only company determining what wrestlers get paid. And that's not good for the wrestling business. What's good for the wrestling business is competition between companies so wrestlers can maximize their value and make the most money they can.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is, look, I'm sure somebody in WWE probably, there does seem to be some amount of WWE. I don't know what the deal is. Their PR team, whatever it is, whether it's leaking these fast national numbers to certain people who then just report on them as if they're not, as if it's like, and even when those numbers are wrong, not taking that back. Putting that stuff out there and trying to, what the fuck do I care? Like, look, you're big boys there in WWE. You got the big money.
The billion-dollar company.
You just made $5 billion through Netflix.
That's one TV deal.
And now you're crying about somebody making, probably in the range of around. I know Wrestling Observer newsletter also said this is sort of Swerve's deal is well ahead of Kevin Owens' WWE deal from 2022, which was at 2.25, 2.5, and $3 million over 3 years.
So let's say $4 million a year. Let's say $4 million.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, is it going to end up with AEW giving more money to people than what WWE would have gotten, and WWE would have been like, or would have given, and WWE's whole pitch is, well, you can come to WWE where the biggest platform is. Well, evidently for some people, especially Swerve, who's a foundational piece of AEW and a vital piece of their future. If they want to have any success, they need to retain people like Swerve. So do they have to pay more than the other guys? Probably. And good on Swerve for getting that bag. I don't know why anybody. What, Garcia's going to get, he's going to take like a $80,000 NXT deal when he can probably get, a lot more at a Tony Khan?
Yeah, at least, I don't know, $500,000.
So let's take that out of it. That nobody needs to be pointing any fingers at the talent for not taking less money. I'm sorry, what?
It's ridiculous, man. It's absolutely ridiculous.
That's stupid. And then on top of that, there are people within WWE, and I'm sure not everybody. WWE's not one single hive mind, right? No. There are probably people there who do feel this way. There's probably people there who are like, yeah, I don't know, whatever. It's not, it's not my money.
Yeah.
But guess what? If you want Swerve Strickland and Prince Nana, you got to now pay Swerve Strickland and Prince Nana money. And that money's evidently around $4 million a year.
Well, you can't.
That's our guess based on what Wrestling Observer said based off of the Kevin Owens thing. So it's a lot of money. Whatever it is, you're going to have to pony that up, aren't you? So, but I don't know who this is. I don't know who in WWE is saying
I
this.
don't know.
So I don't,
it's assuming this is factual,
mm-hmm.
Another thing about WWE is historically, and I don't know if it's changed of late, but I don't know. They have not paid a significant portion of their revenue to talent. I remember one time, this was a few years ago, that Meltzer said it was about 10%, which is outrageous considering how much money they make. That is that low.
Mm-hmm.
Most professional sports franchises, leagues, roughly 50% of revenue is for paying the players. It varies, maybe plus or minus 5%. I think it was the NBA. There was a huge thing where this was years ago when they had their last kind of labor disruption about players taking less than half the revenue. That's kind of the norm in professional sports here in America. And I don't know what percentage of AEW's revenue was going towards talent. But if Tony Khan is signing people to large contracts like this because he wants to retain their talents because he thinks it's a good value proposition for him to retain these talents, you got to think it's got to be more than 10%.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know. I mean, I don't, and on top of that, they are awesome athletes, but it's not a competitive sport. So I don't, but the bottom line
it's not an apples to apples comparison, but I'm curious if Tony Khan, coming from the professional sports world, is viewing this is speculation completely, is viewing his allocation of financial resources to talent through the lens of this is how it's done in the world of professional sports. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I would have no idea on that. But the bottom line is, and Champ Fear and Loathing here says in their chat, in our Twitch chat, AEW needs to overpay. If I had to choose between the two and the money was the same, my ass is going to WrestleMania, which for many wrestlers might be the case. And yes, I think in that situation, AEW, WWE right now is the place to be, if you will. It's selling out the arenas. The creative's pretty darn good. It's sort of the place to be. So if all things are equal, I could see wrestlers totally wanting to go and take advantage of that. Absolutely. Who wouldn't want to be in front of 12,000 people instead of 1,200 people? That being said, if all things aren't equal, nine wrestlers out of 10, I speculate, probably going to go after whoever's giving more money. So
Absolutely.
In that case, then yeah, I mean, it's an investment in your future. If you're about to get this big TV deal that everybody says is going to happen any moment now, then you could probably afford it. And and by the way, if WWE really wanted Swerve, they probably could have afforded him too. They just choose not to, and that's part of their business practice. That's fine, but don't bitch about it. Don't say that Owens ruining the business. Whatever nameless WWE person this is.
Yeah, I know.
If you exist,
yeah,
I wouldn't accuse those other guys of making anything up necessarily, but. So I'm sure there's somebody in WWE who feels this way. But yeah, awesome. Congratulations to Swerve Strickland for getting that money. I mean, he's great.
For wrestlers, your prime money-making period to make the huge money is relatively short, just like it is for a professional athlete. Most pro athletes, you get 5, maybe 10 years. You get 2 contracts after your rookie one to really make huge money.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And in pro wrestling, your longevity might be a little bit longer just based on the nature of the industry.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, still, it's not a large window to sign huge contracts.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have one in front of you, yeah, you're going to, I understand why you're going to pay me $4 million? Heck yeah.
Yeah.
$6 million. And that goes for anybody in any company. You're in the business pro wrestling. First and foremost, you'd think to make a living, to set up your financial future.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Especially if you're wrestling for AEW or WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And, if someone's going to put a huge contract in front of you and the other company's nowhere close, yeah, odds are they're going to go with the largest paycheck. Heck yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Shaved Llama here says, to be honest, I see both companies with a super chat. Says, I see both companies having their advantages. You see with people like Danielson or Cody going to the place that best suits what they're wanting to do in this business. And he says, good day from Australia, by the way.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
I mean, that's a good point because Daniel said, that he said recently that he enjoyed working the AEW because it let him wrestle the way he wanted to wrestle.
Also, he probably got paid a shit ton of money.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Don't get it twisted. He got paid a shit ton of money.
He would have got paid a shit ton of money in WWE, too.
Yeah. You get paid a shit ton of money.
But if you got a $5 million check from one place and a $5 million check from another place, you're like, all right, I'm going to do the thing I really want to do. And I guess Danielson case, he wanted to wrestle the way he wanted to wrestle.
Wasn't Vince all pissed off about that, too?
Probably.
I think I remember that one. So yeah, congratulations, Swerve Strickland.
Yes, congratulations to Swerve, and if Daniel Garcia ends up signing a huge deal with AEW, congrats to him as well.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I think you and I want the athletes out there who put their bodies on the line for entertainment to maximize their income. Right. First and foremost.
Well, maybe first and foremost, if they're making that big money, we're open to investors here going in Raw. That's like first and foremost. So let's get us a little bit of that.
All right.
See if we can funnel it this way. Oh, man. Anyways, before we continue on with our SmackDown review, Larson, you want to pay some bills?
Let's do it. This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp. Steve, I used to be a pretty curious child, type who would open up the map and study it. And even more, I would go into the map of the United States and start memorizing the state capitals.
Oh, wow.
Somewhere along the way to adulthood, I kind of lost that curiosity. I don't know where it went.
Yeah. Have you checked under your bed, perhaps?
No, it's just dust under there.
Oh, man. I see this every day with my daughter, though. Kids are constantly learning and growing, but maybe it's due to everything we have to concern ourselves with as adults. I've found that sense of curiosity certainly isn't what it used to be for me. But therapy can help you reconnect with your sense of wonder. And if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. BetterHelp is completely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. All you got to do to get started is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. Then you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge.
You know, I've talked about it here on the show quite often, but when I was in my mid-20s, my life was basically taken over by severe anxiety, and I had definitely lost any sense of wonder or curiosity. Eventually, I realized that I had to go to therapy. Therapy helped me learn the skills I needed to better cope with my anxiety, got my life back on track, and put me on the path to becoming, hopefully, a better Larson. So rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw.
And while we're talking about stuff, if you do us a solid, hit that thumbs up. Really helps us dive into that YouTube algorithm. Leave a comment. That also helps a lot, especially if you're listening to the audio realm. A comment, rating, review. That helps us. I wonder where we are in the chartable charts, Larson.
Engagement. We were asking for engagement.
That's what we're asking for. We want engagement.
Engagement.
More so than investment money. We want engagement.
Yes.
Let's see here. Oh, man. So on this pro wrestling charts, we're number 21. But in terms of other podcasts that have no actual wrestlers or people who've been in the business, we're behind. Oh, man. We're behind them Deadlock Boys. They announced an arena show?
Wow.
They announced an arena show.
That's
My
absolutely
goodness.
Incredible. Congratulations to
Isn't that awesome?
To Deadlock.
That's great for them.
That's so cool.
This is really cool. There's a podcast ahead of us also called the Stardom Cast. That's a podcast all about Stardom. That's awesome. That's awesome. Great. Let's see who else here. But otherwise, I mean, come on. What? The Ringer, that's the Bill Simmons thing, I think. Yeah. You can't, they got the Bill Simmons money right there.
They do.
I don't know what this is, but this sounds cool. My Cultura and Sonoro and iHeart podcast. Oh, iHeart, right? What? Lucha Libre Behind the Mask. That's cool and everything, but they got that iHeart money. We don't have any of that.
I mean, the show sounds cool.
That's it. It's like the Deadlock Boys are above us, and that's it. So we're basically number 2, Larson.
Yeah, basically number 2. That's cool.
I'm cool with that.
I mean, there's a chance if we get enough engagement on our episodes, we could.
Yeah. Or investment money as well.
I mean, if iHeartRadio come calling.
Listen, you can invest in Going in Raw a very simple way. Click join right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson for a channel membership. And for your investment, you get, it's not an actual investment, but you give us money.
There's no financial return, no.
You do get access to our bonus episodes and our question threads. And, of course, the Big Blue Predictions Challenges, where, again, you can win that, but you don't win nothing financial. If you want to try to sell the Big Blue Predictions hat that you do get, you could try to do that. Good luck. So yeah, the Big Blue Predictions Challenge continues on. If you've already been participating and you want to participate in the Bash in Berlin segment as well to have a chance to win this latest challenge, because it covers 3 events all in, all out in Bash in Berlin, be sure to get that form in by tomorrow morning.
Yeah, 9:50 in the a.m. here Pacific. That'd be 12:50 in the early afternoon on the East Coast. Basically 10 minutes before the card starts. You have till then. If you haven't put in your picks, please do so. It was a pretty highly contested race after All In.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly. There's a lot of people within a handful of points in first place. So
absolutely.
We got 2 shows left. I don't think a lot of people are out of it yet. So
absolutely. We also have Friendo U merch right here. Throw up your U's for Friendo U. I'll take this thing out of the way. Well, this way. There we go. And that's available right now at friendoshop.com. In 2 days, it'll be the first y'all are getting your payday checks. So be sure to head over. The first thing you do, head over to friendoshop.com. Use promo code Friendo2024 and get some Friendo U merch, man. You get 20% off with that Friendo code, that discount code right there.
Yep.
So be sure to check that out as well.
Yes,
Smackdown saw Nia Jax defeat Mia Yim. Mia Yim is on such a roll these days. She had that terrific, I think it was a street fight, a last woman standing, whatever it was.
With Jada Parker in NXT.
With Jada Parker in NXT doing really good stuff over there. And then coming over here to SmackDown for this rivalry now with Nia Jax. This is probably going to be the end of it. But to see it blow off in such a wonderful fashion with this street fight, Nia Jax hitting that Annihilator on the garbage can that Mia Yim was in. The garbage can didn't eat the pin. Mia Yim ate the pin while she was in a garbage can.
Yeah.
Wasn't a triple threat with a garbage can.
No, it was not.
No, I thought it was a really fun match. What'd you think of the SmackDown go home before Berlin?
It was more of the same of what we got from SmackDown of late. A lot of feuds, not a ton of stories. They did try to add a couple extra wrinkles to the Cody Rhodes Kevin Owens match coming up tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With Kevin Owens.
The really long, boring promo.
Well, it came down to this. Cody kind of confronted Kevin Owens about the end of the show last week, where Owens ran up on Cody super fast with the title just to hand it to him. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, people are asking, baby, Kevin Owens is going to blast me from behind with that title if I had not turned around. Mm-hmm. And then also Kevin Owens is like, he's kind of Kevin Owens is kind of tired of being. He feels like he's a charity case at this point.
Yeah, nobody wants to feel
I'm being handed a title opportunity that I don't feel like I deserve, and I've been upfront about that. And now you're questioning my friendship to you, Cody, openly. And so Kevin Owens is like, the last time I won the Universal title is because Triple H helped me. That was a tainted victory. Mm-hmm. I don't want you coming to the match tomorrow with a bad knee, and then when I beat you tomorrow, that's going to be a tainted victory too.
Yeah.
And the whole promo segment, now we don't have to go through this whole promo segment because just kind of recapped it all here, ended with Cody saying, essentially, after our match tomorrow, are you still going to be my friend? And Kevin brings the mic up as if he's going to say something, hesitates, drops it, and whispers something to Cody that we, as the viewing audience, not privy to.
So speculate. What did Kevin Owens say to Cody Rhodes? When Cody Rhodes says, are you still going to be my friend?
Should say, I am and always will be. I have been and always shall be your friend.
I have and ever shall be your friend.
Your friend.
Jim.
Ship. Out of danger.
WWE. Out of danger. Sorry, it's a rabbit.
Cody.
Cody. I don't know. What if he said something that's kind of fucked up, like I was never your friend in the first place?
What if he said,
dramatic?
This would explain why he whispered it rather than saying it in the mic. Said, I should never called the Young Bucks for you.
Oh, wow. Wow. What if he said, you'll always be Stardust in my heart?
Oh.
Ouch. That would hurt. Oof. That would burn. You're a mid-carder cosplaying as a main eventer. Yeah, I don't know. I liked that part of it. I mean, I kind of feel like this whole title match is just a story beat to get Kevin Owens to be a bad guy because they need bad guys on SmackDown. And that's fine. That's cool. He's not going to win the title. For instance, the Triple H thing, I thought that was good. How Triple H basically just gifted him the championship when he won
8
that
years
Universal
ago. That was 8 years ago.
I know. Yeah, it's ridiculous how quickly time flies. It's ridiculous. So I liked it. It was fun. I think the match is going to be really, really good. And I think here's the thing. I think we got to get through this match, and then we'll get some really good stuff. That's what I think.
What will probably happen is Kevin Owens will feel bad going after Cody's knee. It'll end up costing him the match. He'll get mad. I think Cody might do something that's kind of vaguely condescending or something,
Yeah, Cody's entire thing here has been condescending.
Yeah,
there's nothing. Listen, there's nothing vaguely about it. Oh, you're my friend. I'm giving you this title shot because you're my friend.
Because you've helped me.
He's being a prick.
Like Kevin Owens said, I haven't won shit. I'm like, you Cody's like that. You deserve it because you're my friend and you're great.
Yeah, no, let's not get it twisted. Cody's being super condescending in this thing. I really hope that Kevin Owens just, gives him the biggest punch to the dick. After the match, after he's eaten a couple of crossroads, maybe he hesitates on a pop-up powerbomb or something stupid like that. I don't know. But yeah, no, Cody is definitely his stripes are showing as, over the top politician guy who's just condescending, thinks he's got it in the bag because he's Cody Rhodes. And this all needs to come spilling out on SmackDown on Friday, next, a week from tonight, after Berlin. Because I do think that the match is probably going to be the breaking point for Kevin Owens, where he's just okay, it's funny because as a bad guy, Kevin Owens just fits. And as a good guy, and I love this about him, he always feels like, what am I looking for? It always feels like he has to try so hard not to be the prize fighter. He's got to try so hard not to be a bad guy. And partially it's because it's a cycle, right? And it just feeds into itself because he's a bad guy, or he was a bad guy, and then he goes good, but nobody trusts him and they all expect him to be a bad guy, and so it feeds into it. He's going to be a bad guy again. Same thing that happened before. It's a cycle that keeps going.
Yeah. It's the most kind of thought out reason and almost believable explanation of why someone will be a villain, wake up one day and kind of be, although with Kevin Owens, he tries to make it a bit more organic than that. And he's generally true to who he is to a degree, regardless whether he's face or heel. It's not like he wakes up a completely different person as a villain versus maybe.
Right. Yeah.
But there's an explanation there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a motivation that we don't always get when people turn heel and then face again and stuff like that. So
Kevin Owens has always been the best at remaining true to his character when he has to do the most vicious stuff and when he has to be super lovable. And that's kind of why I like that sort of cycle that he's always on, from good guy to bad guy, from good guy to bad guy, because it always makes sense and he always finds a way to justify it. He even asked the question during the promo tonight, Cody, you keep on thinking I'm going to turn. Why? What reason would I have? Why are you, why do you expect this? And it's because of your track record and you're going to do it again. So yeah.
Well, Kevin Owens says we've never had that kind of relationship. We've been friends for a long time. I was close with your dad. Why would you think I would do that to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And all Cody says, well, track record.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's your past, which is a valid point as well. It's a valid point. Yeah. It's you've been a snake in the past. You've been a turncoat in the past. You've done it to your best friend before. It's the first thing you did with the WWE and NXT is you turned on your best friend. Yeah. Powerbombed the living shit out of him until he couldn't stand anymore, and they just gave you the title. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I know you from. I do think the promo's a bit on the long-winded side. Cody bringing up 2015, 2016. I thought that you were underrated and I thought I was overrated. I was getting too much attention and you weren't getting enough attention. It's okay, dude, nobody cares about what happened. That was almost 10 years ago. Nobody cares about that.
Well, that's Cody kind of being condescending about stuff.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. And kind of searching for it. I kind of feel like whether it was intentional or not, you could perceive it as being disingenuous from him, being dishonest from him, kind of coming up with the reason. It's no, I just feel like you're going to turn because you're you, but he's kind of searching for some bullshit excuse as to why I think that's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Because you're angry at something that happened back 8 years ago.
Yeah. Because I overshadowed you on your huge WrestleMania moment when you were facing Stone Cold.
Yeah.
I would be mad about that too, says Cody.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, SmackDown, it was decent commercials for Bash in Berlin. We got
another Giovanni Vinci video package.
We did get another Giovanni video package. So that was cool. Kind of the same old. Ludwig Kaiser got a tremendous reception from the Berlin crowd.
I understand why they had Ludwig have that match. He's from Germany. I get it. Kind of took the air out of the building a little bit when he didn't win.
When he didn't win?
Yeah. They're people like LA Knight. They're not going to boo him, although there was a couple instances where the crowd was behind Marcel Bartel.
Well, they booed the capital of the United States.
Which was I'm not even talking about the promo. I'm talking about the match itself.
Yeah.
The crowd was firmly behind Ludwig Kaiser in this bout.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But hey, he got his shine. He got the match.
Well, he dominated most of it. Yeah, yeah. But like the reception when LA Knight won, it was like, all right, yeah, we like LA Knight, but
It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't
yeah,
situation. There's not a lot you can do about that. It's they're in Germany, and he's gonna get the response. But at the end of the day, yeah, and that whole crowd's gonna say LA Knight, yeah, and they did.
yeah.
So, but yeah, no, he was getting a tremendous response. He probably loved that. Probably thought that was really great.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Also, we had match number 4 of Carmelo Hayes versus Andrade. Carmelo Hayes tied it up 2-2. I think, we talked about this last week with the idea that this would be a best of 7 and they would recreate the Cavs Warriors thing where Carmelo would go down 3-1. I think because there hasn't been like an official, this is going to be a best of 7, they probably didn't go that route because now there's a reason to do another one. And that is they're tied at 2-2 now because Carmelo Hayes got the win over Andrade. Another phenomenal match with these guys. Where do you see this feud going from here? Besides the obvious, another match.
Well, I guess it depends. The question is, who's going to win the rubber match? Who's going to win the 5th and final bout? They're going to give Carmelo the push here? Are they going to set up? I know Andrade had his sights set on the U.S. title prior to LA Knight even winning it. Are they going to have Andrade go over because he's going to get into a program with LA Knight? For that matter, is Carmelo going to win, get into a program with LA Knight? I don't see either of them beating LA Knight for that title. He's going to have that U.S. title for a little bit.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, gosh, I don't know. Do you have Melo win, but then ultimately lose against LA Knight? Then what's next for Carmelo? Or do you have Andrade win, he loses to LA Knight? Then what's next for Andrade?
Well, it's the same thing for both guys. I mean,
it is. It's more mid-card stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're trying to build up the mid-card, and you're right. It's like, okay, who's going to come out of this? You got to figure. I know they like him. I know they like Andrade quite a bit. Carmelo was like the number 1 pick for SmackDown.
So you think he has to win?
Like, you got to go with this guy in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And I honestly hope that they get built up a bit more even after this. I don't know what they could do. I don't know what they could do to make this. I mean, honestly, you could kick this up another notch and start going into street fight territory. I mean, it's a who's better in the ring feud that I think could evolve into, and I don't know, like necessarily if you could do like a plot story, like a story. You could try, I guess. They've got such amazing chemistry.
We're missing the obvious answer, Steve.
Tag team?
Yes.
The Thebar route.
Yeah.
The bar. Yeah. Yeah, no, mid-card needs some. I mean, the mid-card needs some kick to it. That's why we're trying to rack our heads like, how do you do this and not just make it obvious that the winner is going to be fed to LA Knight for a loss?
I know.
I mean, LA Knight's they're both, Andrade and Carmelo could both be bad guys. They could both be good foils for LA Knight. Let me ask you this. I don't know how long LA Knight's U.S. title run is going to be. I mean, to be honest, the bottom line is you just need him in good stories.
I know.
And it's like you can kind of only do the, hey, we're really good in the ring thing so much.
I know.
You got to have some plot there. Andrade shows up at Carmelo's house, and I don't know, like LA Knight showed up at former U.S. champion's house.
Said he peed in the pool.
But even that wasn't like a story.
No, it was a feud.
It was a feud.
So much of SmackDown is feuds, and that's kind of the issue right now with SmackDown. Is there's not. I was thinking about this earlier today because the Bloodline had a promo, and Solo again said, "I got next." Whoever wins between Cody and Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
And these kind of sit down, dramatically lit, ominously scored Bloodline promos now. I mean, they look nice.
Yeah.
But what's missing is the interpersonal dynamics between the members is what made the original Bloodline stuff so dang good. It's completely missing. That was the story, was
1000%.
the dynamics between Jimmy and Jay and Roman, Jimmy and Roman. Add Sammy to that. That's a whole other dynamic. We don't get any of that with the Bloodline now.
That is so much of what is missing right now, and it's two things. It is absolutely the dynamic between the characters. You need that.
Yeah.
Why aren't they doing that?
That's what makes it rich and interesting.
Tama Tonga has been reduced to weird mannerisms.
Yeah.
Jacob Fatu's got a tremendous presence, but like, let's hear the guy talk.
All he says is, "I love you, Solo."
And if there is a God in heaven, I want Tonga Loa on that microphone. I want to hear what he has to say.
But like some of the best stuff of the Bloodline stuff was the backstage stuff.
Well, that too, yeah. I want to see him on what couch is he going to be on?
Room. Yes.
They need to be in the couch. Like, it's weird. It's so funny because like tonight during that promo, he's like, yeah, I took out Jimmy, I took out Paul Heyman, and I took out Roman Reigns. I'm like, yeah, that's all Roman's done since he's been back. That's all he's done. Is he came back, beat him up, then got beat up. That's it.
Didn't say a word.
The other thing, and this might be what we're talking about, and this is going to be an idea that's so simple, so effective, and I want it so much to happen that it's not going to happen. Have Solo fucking feud with the mid-carder to show that he can be a threat. He ain't going to beat Cody anytime soon. Kevin Owens ain't going to win this, so he's going to feud with Cody. He's not going to win that match. So in the meantime, have Carmelo Hayes run into Solo Sikoa backstage, or have Andrade offer up his services to the Bloodline as a mercenary. He's not part of the family, but hey, you know what? Put me in there with Cody. It doesn't have to be whoever wins this just simply gets fed to LA Knight, because that's a one match, maybe two matches, and then it's done with.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you rope Andrade or Carmelo into some Bloodline stuff, whichever way you do it, Carmelo could be like, hey, I beat Andrade in this best of 5. I want to show that I can be the tribal chief. Well, Solo hears this. He gets pissed. Now you got a Carmelo. Maybe they don't want it because they don't want Carmelo to be a good guy, but still, that'd be kind of cool. And then, because Carmelo also might be next in line for the U.S. title, you rope LA Knight into the Bloodline stuff. Maybe he's got a feud with Solo. I mean, at that point, you're having the U.S. title, the U.S. champion beat Solo Sikoa, and you don't want that. But the general idea, I think, is sound. What do you do with the mid-card? Same thing they were doing with the Bloodline before. You're roping the mid-card into the Bloodline stuff. You're roping other people into it. You got the Owens in there. You got the Sami Zayn in there. You rope them into the mid-card stuff. Or you take Jacob Fatu and you stick him in the mid-card stuff. Have him beat people.
So much of what's happening on SmackDown exists on its own little segment.
And that's when it's worst. That's when it's at its worst. Yeah. And that's when you see Raw, everything links with each other. Everybody has some form of contact, or there's degrees of separation where everybody is affiliated.
So Aussie here mentions Roman Reigns feuded with Xavier Woods because Xavier Woods would dare wear the crown he won from King of the Ring.
Right.
And Roman took that as an affront to his legitimacy as the tribal chief.
Right. Carmelo Hayes was the #1 SmackDown pick. He should be wearing that as some sort of like jacket or something.
Solo was hella pissed that Bloodline was drafted to like the 5th round.
Right.
Have Solo go up to Carmelo. Like this, he was drafted the 1st round rather than the Bloodline.
Yeah.
Have him be upset about it. And,
yeah.
Like, challenge him to a match. Prove you're worthy of the 1st round pick.
Yeah. And like, and do one of those locker room segments or suite segments where Tama Tonga sort of puts Tongaloa would be better, puts his foot in his mouth and mentions that the Bloodline went undrafted and Carmelo was drafted #1. Yeah. That's the kind of shit, because then it's like, oh, now you just pissed off Solo. And maybe instead of Solo doing the old Roman thing where he, looks pissed, maybe Solo uses Jacob as his arm of anger. He looks at Jacob and Jacob looks at Tama Tonga. Then you start getting some dynamics there.
Exactly. All that's missing. There's none of that. There's none of that. There's none.
I'm not saying I can book this stuff properly. I'm just saying that's the kind of relationships that we need between all these fucking people.
But here's the thing, Steve. We talked about it. They're phoning it in until it moves to the USA.
Hey, watch. First
weeks.
episode on USA.
All this stuff happens.
Everybody's going to be
All
talking to
happens.
everybody.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. That happens in 2 weeks, 13th.
Well, hey, they're going to kick it off in a big way. It ain't going to be same old, same old. It might go back to same old because the same old people are going to be writing the show.
Yeah.
But, they're going to load the first couple ones up pretty heavily.
You think so? If they don't, then I guess they weren't phoning it in. They think this is good.
They're like, this is awesome. We're doing great.
This is best wrestling programming on TV.
Right. And then they're going to be kayfabing those Raw numbers when it moves to Netflix, whenever that is. So, yeah.
1/10 of the world's population watch Monday Night Raw.
1/10. Oh, man. Anyways.
It's like, there's no way 800 million people watch Raw this week,
Prove us wrong.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
I can't do that.
Yeah, who reports these numbers? Nobody. WWE wins again.
All right, let's jump into it. Show up with LA Knight. He had his LA Knight Invitational U.S. Open Challenge. He comes to the ring.
Yeah.
How it's been 27 years since they've had a televised live event in Berlin. He says, since I successfully defended my title last week in the capital city of the United States, Washington, D.C., crowd boos. And he starts to laugh a little bit.
He does, yeah.
He says, I might as well defend it in the capital of Germany, right here. He says, I'm holding the LA Knight Invitational. Anyone who wants to come out here and answer it, if anyone back there wants this, they can get bashed. So Ludwig Kaiser. Duh! Walks out to a tremendous response. Speaks some German. Says, LA Knight, if you really are the champ you say you are, I'm sure you want to defend it against the very best all over the world. Well, myself and the entirety of Berlin, we can guarantee there's no one better on German soil than Ludwig Kaiser. Let me give you a little news flash. After I beat you, I'm going to take that title. I'm going to bring it across the pond and make it my personal European championship. And LA says, I got to be honest, that's pretty impressive for Gunther Stooge.
Yeah.
He said, you can do anything you want with this title, but you won't win because I won't let ya. The only thing you're going to do is eat 3 the hard way when I hit it and quit it. You can pledge allegiance to the U.S. champ.
I got a question, Larson.
Sure.
Now, we're older than LA Knight. We both know what hit it and quit it means.
Absolutely.
Do you think he knows what hit it and quit it means?
Oh, absolutely. You absolutely know what it means.
Yeah. Gonna hit it and quit it. 3. I do like 3 the hard way, though.
Yeah,
that's a good phrase.
That
Eat 3 the He's gonna eat 3 the hard way.
That was pretty good. This was a good match. They gave it a lot of time, and it was a strong showing for Ludwig Kaiser. He dominated a good portion of the match. Nonetheless, LA Knight gets the win. Kaiser's looking for his finish. Knight counters with the side effect, follows with the BFT to get the win.
So February 26, 1997 was the WWF Raw in Berlin show. You want to hear this card really quick?
Is that the one where the Bulldog won the European title?
It certainly was. Do you know who he defeated?
It was Owen Hart. No.
Owen.
It was Owen, yeah.
Owen.
Yeah.
Owen. Also on this card, couple of dark matches. Salvatore Sincere defeated Alex Porto. That look explains it all. I don't know who they are either. I've heard the name Salvatore Sincere.
Yeah. I think he was like a carryover from like late New Generation stuff.
Yeah, right. Team Canada, Doug Furnas and Phil LaFawn.
Yeah.
No, Team Canada, mine. My Team Canada is Scott D'Amore, Elix Skipper.
Lance Storm.
Defeated Aldo Montoya. We know him.
That's just incredible.
It is. And Bob Holly.
Are you sure this card isn't from 95?
Hey, get a load of this next match because you're onto something. Ahmed Johnson defeated Leif Cassidy.
Wow.
Now we're on to the actual Raw, I think. Hunter Hearst Helmsley defeated Bret Hart by disqualification due to an attack on the referee. So Bret attacked the referee?
I guess so.
Hey, oh, yeah. Tired of your antics, Earl. Stop doing that, Earl. What are you doing? Why aren't I in this tournament final? I should be in there, not my brother Owen.
I should be first European champion.
WWF Intercontinental title match. The champion, Rocky Maivia. Throw your L's up. Defeated. It's time. It's Vader time. Yeah, by disqualification. Next up, 5-minute match. The Sultan. That's Rikishi. Throw your L's up for the bloodline. One's up for the bloodline. Defeated Flash Funk.
Too Cold Scorpio.
A WWF World Heavyweight title match. Your champion, Psycho Sid. Defeated Mankind. 13-minute match. A 13-minute Sid match.
Gave it plenty of time. I mean, I'm surprised it's a 13-minute TV match.
Sid this was probably a very slow match. He probably absolutely annihilated Mankind. One hope spot, and then powerbomb. My guess.
Slam, powerbomb, yeah.
That's my guess. And then, as you stated before, the main event was for the European Championship, the European title tournament final. British Bulldog defeated Owen Hart in 22 minutes. Probably a really good match.
Yeah, probably is.
So there you go. There's your WWF in history.
There you go. Then we got a really well done Gunther Randy Orton video package. Following that was a really well done Nia Jax video package. And then we got Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin taking on Los Garza.
Yeah, the Garza.
Yeah.
I have a question. This is actually for Maggie if she's in chat still. I meant to text her this. Los means, I think, plural.
Yeah.
Garza.
Singular.
Is singular. Shouldn't it be Los Garzas? Los Garzas.
Yeah, you'd think so.
But maybe there's a reason for it. I mean, both their names are Garza.
Both their names are Humberto Garza, Steve.
I'm sorry. Both their names are Humberto Garza. Yeah. Shouldn't it be Los Humberto Garza?
All right. So Jorge says it can be Garza. It's a last name. So I guess what denotes this a plural is the article in front of it.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
Maggie concurs.
Okay. All right. Cool. That's cool. I didn't know. See, this is what we're all about here. Education, specifically Espanol.
Yeah.
Your next lesson will be on the Bash in Berlin review. Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin, once again, thanks to some shenanigans from Legato, couldn't get the job done against Los Garzas. So, yeah.
Los Garza, Steve. Los Garza.
Los Humbertos. These guys got to get a win or something. Baron Corbin always has like really cool entrance music too. I know he's had this one for a little while now, but he's
had like 3,
maybe 4
consecutive really good themes going back to his original NXT one.
Mm-hmm. Is that the motorcycle one?
Yeah.
He's had a lot of really good
themes. And then
themes.
the End of Days one was really good.
And yet he's also had one really bad one where they mixed the King of the Ring theme with End of Days.
And also his Happy Corbin theme, what starts with like the jackpot
I didn't mind
sounds.
That. It was very thematic. it
was
worked.
Terrible,
it made sense for
In
the
a bubble,
character.
the song was garbage though.
It made sense. Anyways, yeah, they lose here. Let's see here. Cruz ends up eating the pin thanks to a distraction from Elektra Lopez.
Yeah.
After that, we had that Moody Bloodline promo.
Put your ones up for your tribal chief, Steve.
Roman wasn't on this episode. I'm not going to do that. Solo says, in his whispery voice, "You know what's going to happen next?
Trying to be intense.
The Bloodline versus DIY, and the Prophets and the 4 of you will acknowledge me." That's terrible. Anyways, it says, "I did all this to my family. Imagine what I'm going to do to you." Very original stuff here.
Yeah.
And then Jacob puts on the Ula Fala on Solo.
Yeah.
So, like, does he take it off before they roll camera?
Seems like it.
He's like it. Or he carries around in a bag. He's like, "Here, you're going to put this on when I do my punctuation here."
Something. I don't know. I just would have thought he'd just wear it all the time.
Like, in the shower?
I mean, maybe.
You think the thing's probably pretty tough.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you think so.
Yeah, I could see that. Maybe.
Or maybe he takes it off, you have a watch on. I know you do. I don't wear watches. You take that off in the shower, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then when you're done, you put it back on.
Right, yeah.
Maybe
It is
like
waterproof. I could wear this in the shower, but I opt not to.
Yeah.
What about when he smashes? What about when he poops?
Well, you don't get undressed when you poop, do you?
Some people
George
do.
Costanza.
George Costanza. Hey, you can't. Yeah. He might be like George Costanza if he's going to be there a while. He gets comfortable.
No, I kind of feel like
if he takes his shirt off.
I kind of feel like Solo just goes in, gets his business done. He's out.
I think he's there. I think he TikToks.
You think so? He's there.
I think he does. I think he
30
TikToks and he realizes his ass
TikTok.
goes numb.
Yeah. Loses feeling in his lower legs. He's been sitting too long.
Exactly. Yeah.
Could be. Then we got that Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes face-to-face. We kind of went over that already. Although Nick Aldis introduced them. Before that, he threw to a video package about how successful the current European tour is.
You got to, if things are good, you got to say they're good.
I guess so.
It's inevitable. At some point, these houses are not going to be packed, Larson. This cannot be.
Oh, yeah. This is not infinitely sustainable. No.
What are they going to say then? What's Triple H going to? Are they just going to not do these press conferences when there's like 5,000 people in a 15,000 person venue?
Probably.
Yeah.
Like, no, look the other way. Don't pay attention to all those empty seats. Nah. Pay attention to what's going on in the ring. Don't pay attention.
Listen,
to
we've
anything else.
got phenomenal superstars, and we're still the #1 name, global entertainment sports.
Yeah,
Anyways.
you'll still say all the corporate buzzwords. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. After that, we had that Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes face to face.
Yeah, I already said that.
We already went over this a lot. And
So it's like Kevin Owens is like, your knee's banged up, Cody. Cody's like, no, my knee's fine. He stomps on the mat to prove his knee's all right.
You didn't take a knee during your entrance.
Yeah, Kevin Owens pointed that out.
Nice pants,
Yeah, there could be a perfectly rational explanation why Cody didn't take a knee there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you think there's something wrong with his knee or no?
No, this is trying to do a story thing here. Because it's
No, I'm sorry, not legitimately. Like, do you think like Kevin Owens, like, is Cody covering up for the fact that he's got a bum knee? Okay, all right. Is he gonna target the knee tomorrow?
He's gonna. Well, I think that's gonna finish. That's gonna come into the finish of the match. Is like Kevin Owens won't be able to go all the way in terms of working that leg. Maybe he has an opportunity ref bump. He could bash that leg with a chair. Won't do it.
That's going to be a tactical error because then Cody's going to bust out a titanium knee.
Even those knee braces like Stone Cold had, but made of like adamantium.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, tactical advantage for Cody Rhodes.
Like he just hits a V trigger, wins.
Bang.
So then we had Baron and Apollo Crews backstage. Baron's complained about losing.
I mean, it's no different than any other time.
I know. This has been Baron Corbin's lot in WWE more often than not. So they walk up to Waller and Theory, and Waller's talking shit. It says that Theory said to him that Crews and Corbin aren't half the tag team that they are. And Corbin's like, is that true? And so Theory, he's put on the spot. He goes, yeah. And so Baron says, you're not half the team that myself and Crews are. They leave. So Theory confronts Waller about putting him on the spot. He says, you were talking about them not being a real tag team, not about them falling apart. I think we're falling apart. And Waller's like, oh, man, that's just how I talk back home.
The Bants.
Yeah, the Bants.
We banter.
You're my best mate. He apologizes.
Yeah.
And asks if they're good.
Mm-hmm.
Theory shakes his hand, but Theory's face doesn't say we're good.
Nope, not good.
Opposite of that.
It's going to be great. They're going to have a tag team match against Corbin and Crews. And as they're falling apart, they're still going to beat Corbin and Crews.
Sadly going to be the case, yes.
I honestly thought, I was like, oh, this week, as soon as I saw Los Humbertos, I was like, Corbin and Crews have a chance here because last week Legado was starting to fall apart. I thought this was going to feed more into like Angel fucking up, or this time it'd be Berto fucking up or whatever. And then, Santos would be pissed off with them next week and be like, I'll show you how to get it done. And then he steps in there or something like that. I don't know. But no, instead, just Legado won.
Yeah. None of that happened, what you mentioned.
None of that happened. After that, we had after that, Vittoria. Giovanni Vinci video package. Oh, I can't wait till this guy did. Are they going to
Next week.
save him?
Next week.
Oh.
Oh, until
Wait.
the 13th?
Yeah, I thought it
Nah,
might be.
I think it said next week he's making his debut.
Damn it.
You want to get ratings on the new network?
Yeah, right. Have him versus Roman in the main event on the first SmackDown on USA.
Vinci goes over. Vittoria.
Oh, yeah, new tribal chief. Throw your ones up for Giovanni Vinci. Good job. And then we had Andrade versus Carmelo. We talked about this a lot. Melo hit nothing but net to get the win here. Fun match. Then we had a really cool video package for the women's tag titles. Dude, god damn, I say it every week. Every time they show Bianca and Jade, they just look like so much money. And the chemistry is so great between them.
I know.
They got to win that match tomorrow, man. They're missing gold around those waists, man.
Mm-hmm.
They need that. They need that.
Then we had our main event, Nia Jax taking on Mia Yim. Street fight for the women's title. During her entrance, or preceding her entrance, Mia Yim had a promo says, I fought my life for this, and this led me here to Berlin. You can like me or hate me, but I promise that after tonight you won't forget me. So as she's walking through gorilla position, there's just a shopping cart full of weapons waiting for her. So she takes that, brings it out to her to the ringside area. Match starts. A lot of fun, good, clever stuff here. At one point, after Mia powerbombs Nia off the second rope through a table, Tiffany runs down with the briefcase and blasts Mia Yim with it. Turned towards the ref like she's thinking about cashing in. Looks down at Nia right as Nia's coming to, and Nia's just staring daggers at her.
I think I read her lips. She said, "What's happening?"
Yeah. And so Tiffany turns around, blasts Mia again with the briefcase, puts Nia on top of her. Mia kicks out. So Tiffany's looking for a moonsault on Mia Yim. Bailey runs out to make the save. They end up brawling over the timekeeper area. So then Mia rolls up Nia, gets a 2, hits some kicks. Nia puts Mia through the table with a Samoan drop and then puts a garbage can over her and then hits Annihilator with Mia Yim inside the garbage can to get the win. And afterwards, Nia picks up a hunk of table that broke, throws it on top of Mia, hits her with the kendo stick a few times.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. Really good stuff. They let Mia Yim look like $1 million in this match, and I love to see that. And now you might get something between Mia Yim and Tiffany Stratton. You know, that's the thing that they got to do, man, is like you get this interference. Maybe have a match where Tiffany's got to put the briefcase up on the line against Mia Yim. You know,
Or
do
Bailey,
that kind of stuff.
Bailey, too. Bailey's got a bone to pick with Tiffany because it was Tiffany's distraction that led to her losing to Nia.
Yeah, get all this stuff intertwined, man. It feels like you look at what's going on Raw. It's like, why are they doing the same thing on SmackDown? It's a shorter show. You could do stuff. You could do cool stuff.
I know.
You know,
there should be an energy about SmackDown because it's the shorter show. You know, like let's try to get stuff
Let
in.
me ask you this. Is there any possibility, and I know I pretty much I cannot think of a reason why, so this might even be silly to ask.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that Fox is on a network, larger potential audience there in more homes, I guess, versus USA being on cable. Is that like a potential reason why they book the show so differently? SmackDown is so,
why. Because
I know
that was
that's
the case when the Bloodline stuff was going.
Yeah.
Or was it just the Bloodline stuff was so strong that it masked any other weaknesses on the show?
Well, that was a common criticism of SmackDown back then. And Raw wasn't all that great, but Raw just shows how you can get it done these days.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I don't see that there would be a reason why that would be the case. But I'm just sort of searching for reasons why the two shows are just booked so.
Because they're phoning it in on SmackDown, Steve.
Hey, if they hit USA running and everybody's just, interacting, then we'll be proven right on that one.
Maybe.
Levy J here became a Friendo Club channel member. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate it. Let's go ahead and answer some questions now.
Before we do that, again, engagement, please.
Oh, yeah.
Thumbs up, comments. We're only about 100 likes right now. Let's double that up before the show's over.
Double it up.
Let's see here.
Cameron Shanks got some.
Right,
he's got a question about going to a show. He says, I'm going to No Mercy for my first premium live event. In your experience, are there any major differences from TV events and bigger shows, like from Smackdown taping and a premium live event?
I don't know if it's a little different now for premium live events because they do have commercial breaks for the Peacock broadcast.
Right, yeah.
For the longest time, the major difference between the live TV tapings versus pay-per-views, you have to deal with downtime of commercial breaks.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's kind of baked into all the WWE stuff now because PLEs are on Peacock.
Yeah.
Usually the atmosphere is probably consistently just more enthusiastic for the pay-per-views because the expectation is more is going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I guess that's it.
No, I can't really add much to that.
Nick Cruz here asks, I really missed the name Marcel Bartel. It was a good name.
It was a really good name.
Who else's names have gotten worse since joining WWE recently?
Jeez, who's had their name changed? Oh, a ton of people on NXT technically have. Like everybody in the next in line stuff gets their name changed.
Yeah.
If they're like basically starting out there. But I don't really know a whole lot of their shoot names.
Yeah, I don't either. Is there anybody in NXT that just has like an objectively bad name?
I don't know. They're all kind of mid, you know.
I know.
Obafemi's a cool name.
Obafemi is a great name.
There's some decent names. I don't know. Yeah, I'm still upset that I'll give you one. Andre Chase. Remember what his name was?
Yeah. It was Harlem Bravado.
What a fucking great name. That is a top tier name. It totally doesn't fit the guy. That should be on somebody way cooler looking. I love Chase U, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying. Harlem Bravado sounds like it should be like the coolest of the cool, you know? J Smooth 619 says, which 3 wrestlers from Raw would you guys move to SmackDown to add more depth?
Who are 3 wrestlers on Raw that maybe don't get the TV? Who potentially are interesting characters who don't necessarily get TV time? Because I feel like that's what SmackDown needs is kind of overall more emphasis on the characters there.
I'll be honest, man. I'd bring LWO back over. Just don't have them feud with Legato. It needs that. It needs like a Rey Mysterio, you know?
Yeah. Bring Judgment Day over to SmackDown.
They're the foundational piece of Raw, but Raw's got a lot of cool. Raw has shown the ability to adapt. They could do really cool shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's not a terrible idea. Dave Matushek says, since SmackDown's run with Fox is ending next week, what's your favorite moment from this run in particular?
It was the Bloodline Sami Zayn stuff. Take your pick of the segments.
Trial of Sami Zayn.
When he was named an honorary Oos.
Yeah, well, he got the honorary Oos shirt. Boy, pins and needles, man. Pins and needles.
Least favorite was on the very first episode when Brock beat Kofi in 8 seconds.
That was bullshit.
That was horse shit.
Lord Blake Whitehouse. This is a TNA emergence. It's a spoiler.
Spoiler. It is TNA, Steve.
Wow. Were you Wesley? I'm going to hold off on that.
Is it a question about a certain former wrestler that may have made an appearance?
No, I don't know.
Oh, you got something else then.
Oh, yeah. No, it's about a title change that happened tonight.
Oh, well, it has some bearing. I know what that is and what you're talking about. It has some bearing on what could happen at No Mercy tomorrow.
Okay, does new X Division champion,
all right,
does that change your prediction? I know we don't run out doing predictions for it, but
no, I don't think so. But if gosh, how to do this without getting into spoiler territory. If the feud is over who's on whose level,
Wow, you're getting really close to it.
and one competitor walks in as a champion while the other isn't,
Yeah.
it's hard to make for one person to make the argument that his opponent's not on his level.
Yeah.
Well, I think from a story perspective, I think is an interesting kind of move to have that title change.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Here we go. Chestnut. What would be your go-to for some cheap heat as a wrestler? What would be your cheap heat? You know what I would do? I would take everybody's favorite local restaurant specific to that locale, to that city.
Yeah, the regional favorite, yes.
Yeah. Name what's one from Chicago or whatever. Or
Giordano's or
okay,
or
let's just say
Portillo's or something like that.
Or I know in Philly, like there was
the cheesesteak places, yeah.
Yeah, right. So let's just say it's Giordano's.
You're in Chicago and you make fun of the bear.
I would go no, I would go and I'd say I'd get the crowd, rizzed up a little bit. I'd say, I stopped by. I have a little microphone right here. Like, I stopped by Giordano's today, and everybody's like, yay, good stuff. And it sucked. And it'd be the same thing every time.
Did you just make fun of the food?
Yeah, I'd make fun of the food.
Have you ever watched The Bear?
No, man, I can't. I heard about the first episode. Somebody was talking about the first episode on Twitter. I was like, this sounds like a giant anxiety attack.
They just yell at each other all the time.
I don't want to watch that on my television.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
Give me Mellow. Give me The Wire.
There we go. Steve doesn't want drama or attention.
Right, exactly.
Give him The Wire.
Give me The Wire. Yeah, I just want, people getting shot in the streets of Baltimore.
Blake Whitehouse here asked, does Bash in Berlin have potential to be the most mid-PLE since Paul took over? No, there was other PLEs. They were kind of, Actually, I feel like there's been several of them this year.
Gunther versus Randy Orton.
Oh, man, that match will be good. I don't really think anything's going to happen from a story perspective. So, maybe with the exception of maybe Kevin Owens turn heel, but they might save that for SmackDown.
Fear and Loathing says, would you take a pity title shot from your going in Raw partner? So, fun fact. Whenever either Larson or myself does really bad when we're playing basketball, we'll usually tack on one additional game where the guy who's won everything will just sort of lay back a little bit so that everybody gets to go home with something. So I'll take it. Look, if the idea of kayfabe is we get more money for a title shot, I ain't going to turn down money. Yeah, I'll do that. She'll be like, hey, Steve, you're 0-34 over the past 3 months. You want a title shot? Sure. Why not?
I got a fat check with it, right? Absolutely.
Any given Sunday.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot of questions over here on the...
All right. We're going to go with this one then. My spirit animal's a Dorito. Man. What's your favorite side dish at a cookout? Ooh. Dude, for me, you know what it is for me.
It's mac and cheese for you.
Give me that mac and cheese, man. Especially if it's baked. Oh, my God.
Man, that's tough. That's tough.
What are you down to? What are you down to? Where are you thinking? Where's your head?
I mean, it's all over the place.
Come on, man. Let's get some options here. We got the potato salad.
Really?
That
would be my first choice. I don't mind potato salad, but I usually don't eat potato salad at like any sort of barbecue because I don't know how long this has been sitting out.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Beans? You can have some straight up beans?
I might. It depends what else is being served. I might have a scoop of beans.
Okay, all right.
If there's cornbread at this barbecue.
Oh,
Jorge has it. Corn on the cob, freshly grilled. Yes.
Man, I'll be
honest.
honest
Cook some corn on the grill. Hell yeah.
Unless there's just slobs of just massive amounts of butter on it.
Yeah, have it your way, Steve.
Yeah, that's sort of not.
You know what I do? I'll shuck the corn.
Yeah.
I'll brush some butter on the corn itself with some salt and pepper.
Yeah.
And I'll roll it up in foil and then put that on the grill.
Yeah, that's what people do. That's what everybody does.
Yeah. So like the butter cooks, warms, and gets imbued with the kernels of the corn.
Yeah, that's good. But then when you take it out, you put more butter on it.
No, because I'm pretty generous with it when I put it on.
Well, you should put more on there.
Well, I don't want to like over butter myself.
No, you can't. Impossible.
No, I agree. Butter makes just about everything better.
It really does. Oh man.
Yeah, if there's cornbread, I will have at least 2 slabs.
Oh, cornbread. It'd be like, hey, where'd all the cornbread go? I left you guys a square.
Yeah, it's like 1 inch by 1 inch.
Yeah, right. Oh, okay, nobody wants it.
I didn't eat the last yet. I didn't eat the last of it.
I will take that, man. I will take that. Oh man. Let's see here. Oh, nice. Javier, who didn't do predictions for All In, has confirmed he did predictions for Berlin.
There we go.
Good job, Javier. John and Alistair voice says, does it matter much to you guys whether the wrestler holding an invitational championship, like holding a workhorse / invitational championship is a big in-ring guy or not? Should a guy holding the Intercontinental Championship be good on the in-ring stuff?
No, not necessarily. It doesn't matter to me. I got one more here from the Honky Donkey Man.
Wow.
How would you refresh the rules of cashing in Money in the Bank? The will they, won't they angle has been done to death now.
You could do the 24/7 thing or the Iron Heavyweight title, Iron Heavy Metalweight title.
How about this?
Bring a ref to somebody's home.
Every day when you leave the show, you hand the briefcase over to somebody who works, like a backstage person, WWE.
Okay.
And then they give it to you when you show back up to work. The thing is, you don't know if there's actually a contract in there or what the contract is for. So you go to cash in, you win the match thinking with the title open the contract, you get a pan of cornbread instead.
I'll be honest with you. I would probably want a pan of cornbread. I'd be like super excited. I don't need your title. I got cornbread. And I'd be like, I'd open the briefcase, like, you want some? And they'd start to go, and I go,
exactly.
Shut the briefcase.
Yeah, literally open up the briefcase. It's just a pan of cornbread right there.
You're right. Yeah, it's edge to edge.
Edge to edge. They put the whole.
They put that in the oven.
Yeah. Cooked it in the briefcase. Yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, cornbread in the bank.
Now I just want some cornbread.
I've got a box. I think I might make some now.
Oh wow! Lucky you.
I know, right?
One of the saddest days in recent memory, I made a pan of cornbread, and I put in the fridge, the little mini one we used to have in the office out in the garage. I was trying to, and it slipped out of my hands. It fell and broke the pan. It was a glass pan.
In the arms
and 2/3 of that pan of freshly baked cornbread fell to the floor.
That is a terrible story. That's awful and tragic.
And my youngest, like me, loves cornbread.
Yeah, of course.
So crestfallen as well about the loss of basically 2/3 of a pan of cornbread. I think I made chili too, so it was with chili.
Oh, you can't have chili without cornbread. No. Well, you can if you put it on a hot dog. That was a hella good. Dump a bunch of cheese and sour cream on it.
Yeah, I say, do you put sour cream on it? Yeah, you do, don't you?
That shit's amazing. I might make that right now.
Wow. Chili dog and cornbread. Yeah. Late dinner for Steve.
That's how I roll. If I don't show up to the Bash of Berlin watch along tomorrow, you're gonna know why.
Slept in because you.
Or I'm in the emergency room.
Oh,
we had a infarction, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Oh, cardiac infarction. Anyways, that's gonna do it for the show today. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Bright and early, man.
10 o'clock is too early.
A little over 12 hours from now. We'll be going
13 and a half
live.
hours.
13 and a half hours. We're going to be going live for Bash in Berlin. Hopefully we'll see you there. Till next time. We'll see you guys around.
Looking forward to it. Goodbye.